Hello and welcome to the Musical Museum channel. This video is one of a series of in-depth looks at some of the rare and unusual instruments in our collection and the history behind them. Our museum tells the story of how music was captured and reproduced before modern technology enabled live sound recording and playback to become commonly available. Many of the instruments and inventions in our collection use punched paper as the method of storing the music, and the subject of this video is no exception. This is a Grotrian-Steinweg piano equipped with an Ampico A reproducing system. It's a full grand piano, built in 1928, with a particularly fine case made out of burr walnut and spruce. In this configuration, it appears to be a perfectly normal grand piano. Although it can be played by hand, it was not really designed to be played in person. In fact, because of the extra depth of the case, it's actually rather difficult to sit at. The reason for that extra depth is this: a hidden drawer which reveals the paper roll and the controls for the playback mechanism. This is a piano that plays itself. We'll have a video on the mechanics of self-playing pianos in a future episode, but for now I'll just say that each note of music is represented by a hole punched in a roll of paper which can be read by the piano. There are also extra holes that control how hard the keys are played, the tempo, and the use of the damper and sustain pedals. In short, everything you need to ensure the accurate reproduction of a nuanced, lifelike piano performance. During the introduction to this video, I described this piano as a Steinweg and not a Steinway. The museum has a number of examples of self-playing Steinway pianos, just a couple of which include the one which is connected to our wonderful Wurlitzer theatre organ and can be played from the console, or this Steinway Duo Art reproducing piano, once owned by Princess Beatrice and awaiting restoration. Steinweg and Steinway pianos were produced by two different companies in different factories, but their origins are related, in more ways than one. Heinrich Engelhard Steinweg was born in 1797 and started making pianos from his home in Germany. Herr Steinweg and his family emigrated to New York, leaving the piano factory in the care of his eldest son. Once in America, Heinrich Americanized his surname to Steinway, and in 1853 his family founded the piano manufacturer Steinway & Sons. So Steinweg and Steinway were in fact two branches of the same piano-making family. All was well for several decades, and both firms prospered independently. In 1856, Friedrich Grotrian became a partner with Steinweg, and 10 years later his son Wilhelm bought the factory. Grotrian-Steinweg became well known for making pianos of the highest quality, and they went on to become one of the finest piano manufacturers in Europe. They won many awards, including Imperial and Royal Warrants, and were the preferred brand used by world-famous pianists like Paderewski and Schumann. At its peak in the roaring 1920s, Grotrian-Steinweg employed around 1,000 people and made several thousand pianos per year. However, and perhaps inevitably, in 1895, Steinway & Sons wanted to stop Grotrian-Steinweg from using the name Steinweg on its pianos. Although the two families eventually came to an agreement, by 1966, Grotrian-Steinweg began selling pianos in America through a new partnership with Wurlitzer, and Steinway took to the courts in a landmark case that lasted for 9 years. Regardless of the naming disputes, both Grotrian-Steinweg and Steinway continue to produce pianos, with the Grotrian-Steinweg family still at the helm of their enterprise some 5 generations later. Both firms produce exceptional handmade instruments, and the Musical Museum is proud to be the custodian of this remarkable 92-year-old example, which was expertly restored in 2010 thanks to the amazing support of the Friends of the Musical Museum, now known as our membership. Accompanying us at the moment is one of my personal favourites from the Musical Museum's library of almost 20,000 music rolls. It's a roll produced by Ampico that has been in our collection for over 40 years, a beautiful and popular piece composed by Walter Gross called Tenderly. The Grotrian-Steinweg reproducing piano is a wonderful example of one of the most sophisticated ways in which you could hear popular music during the early 1900s without playing an instrument yourself, reproducing original music performances through purely mechanical means, without speakers or amplifiers. There are many other varieties of reproducing and self-playing instruments in our collection, and we'll explore another of these in our next video in this series, so please do subscribe to our channel to see more. For now, from the Musical Museum in London, if you have been, thank you for watching.